And welcome everyone to another episode of the Breakfast Bets podcast here on Steady Picks. I'm your host, Reichel. Once again, join my co-host, Jake Savicki, the host of the Hold My Ball podcast. And together we're going to break down some of Friday's key baseball matchups while sharing our favorite bets. Jake, you're wearing that hat on a pretty tough day to wear that hat. Sorry for your loss. We'll get into that in a second. But Jake, how's it going with you? What's up?
It's going, like you said, coming off a late night serving of Diaz, and I'm in a hotel. I'm holding my own microphone today. Not a great start from last night to this morning, but I'm here. I'm ready. I do feel very good. I'm in a beautiful place in California right now on a little mini vacation.
Yeah, I'll tell you one of the good things, though, about having a friend in California is I can now send texts about games at 3 a.m. and somebody can respond to me, which is nice. So I appreciate the time difference working in my favor on that one.
It is tough having sports fan friends or coworkers or co-hosts when you are trying to talk sports and something ends at 11 and you're 2 a.m. fast asleep.
Yeah, I think the issue I run into is that a lot of my friends sleep. And I feel like I just can't relate to that. That's kind of a problem I run into personally. But anyway,
two of us.
Yeah, should be a fun episode. We're going to be talking about some baseball games. Do want to recap quickly the standalone baseball game that was a pretty, I'd say, unique broadcast. We ended up having the Field of Dreams game, which the Phillies ended up winning. And we're going to talk briefly about our thoughts on the presentation, the overall game, etc. Schwarber doing Schwarber things, him hitting into the corn twice. In hindsight, yeah, we probably could have seen that coming. I know you called it out on the show. Yeah, it was kind of inevitable. Third pitch of the game hits a bomb. Second one, a little help from the outfielder, but it went over either way. But, of course, the Phillies did win. I'll ask you in general thoughts on the game itself because we know the atmosphere is definitely unique over there. I'll mention the Netflix broadcasting in a second. But the game itself, it accomplished what it was supposed to, but the game itself wasn't that competitive.
Yeah, you know what? I will say this. That's like the third or fourth home run we've seen aided by an outfielder in the past, 2 weeks.
Shout out to Acuna.
Yes, Acuna. They had two guys helping with that one. I know Spencer Jones not too long ago. He basically brought one back. He just didn't bring it back with him in his glove, flipped over the fence. But there's been a lot of those. Schwarber, could see it coming for me. I mean, nothing's 100%, but I felt pretty good about. It's Iowa. It's the Field of Dreams. It's Schwarber. You just felt like he had to hammer one into the corn. The field. What are we talking about right now? The Field of Dreams.
Yeah, just in general, thoughts on the actual game. I mean, at the end of the day, the Phillies dominated the game. So
yes, the game itself, not much to talk about there. The Phillies swung the bat, but man, I tell you what, I've been saying all year that I think the American League sucks. And now that I'm sitting here looking at the whole MLB, obviously there's the best players in the world. I'm not talking talent wise, but when it comes to picking somebody to win it all this year, the Dodgers are just making it way harder than it should be. Diaz, but I just don't think anybody looks that good. Even the teams that do look good, they're just as easy looking like the worst team in the league on any given day. You don't normally have that in a season. I just don't see anybody at this point that you go, yeah, they're going to win it. That's pretty obvious. Other than the Dodgers, they get healthy. But anyways, the Field of Dreams game, always a beautiful thing to watch. You had some gripes before the show on Netflix, and I didn't watch the actual game, but I have a ton of Netflix animosity towards every sporting event I watch. So fill me in on what you didn't like about it.
I'll put it this way. For a network that specializes in movies and TV shows, they did a pretty bad job of making it feel cinematic. That's what I'll say. It feels like whether they do the football games or whether they do some baseball games here or there, it just feels very corporate. It just feels very bland to me. For example, people were comparing the score bug. You had the Fox one with the Anderson walk-off homer. They customized it green. They made it look like it was a 1930s type of scoreboard. Like a little bit of extra detail, I think, goes a large way in selling the Field of Dreams kind of story there. You throw a little small Netflix-sponsored score bug on the side. We know it's Netflix. It's the only platform you could find the game on. You don't have to have a massive, N logo in the middle of the scoreboard. But it just feels like Netflix bases all of their broadcasting, I'd say, score bugs and their overall broadcasting team based on what they think is the bare bones of each actual component that fans will be happy about, it feels kind of like it's like Chat GPT generated. Like they just typed in, tell me what a sports broadcast would have, and they give you the most basic version of everything. And they're like, yeah, here you go. Here's a game. Like you just put the bare minimum into all the bells and whistles. Now, I am a fan of actually watching the game, so I don't really need all the bells and whistles. But at least add a little bit for presentation to try to, make it feel a little bit unique. Throwing a Netflix score bug on the side of the screen while we're watching this moment just kind of doesn't really bring the whole thing home. You know what I'm trying to say?
I do. I've hated pretty much every sporting event they've done so far. They had Netflix had the home run derby, didn't they?
Yeah, they had the home run derby, and they also did the opening game between the Yankees and Giants.
Yeah, the home run derby was awful, absolutely awful. First off, they got Will Ferrell out there making fun of everybody that gets introduced. That just
I don't think anybody liked Will Ferrell during
that made me want to
like
honestly turn it off. I was so irritated by that, and then watching like some group of friends in the stands while one dude's up there hitting baseballs, and then it cuts straight to the ball in flight, and you're like, good way to get that swing in. I hate Netflix doing any sporting event. It really pisses me off. But what are you going to do? Money talks, I suppose.
Yeah, it does. Shout out to the Lakers, by the way, who got sold for about $12 billion. But anyway, the point is the game itself, was still an entertaining spectacle, but it got us thinking for the sake of this show. We talked a little bit about the movie Field of Dreams yesterday, but we decided to have a little bit of I don't know if it's going to be a debate, discussion, a war, however you want to phrase it. We prepared our favorite baseball movie list, and we're going to let the people of the audience potentially vote on whose is better. It's going to be mine, of course, but, we're going to see that. We want to keep it fair. We'll let the audience decide. But either way, we did prepare our top 5 movies, each baseball related. That's the key there. Couple honorable mentions as well, but mainly for the top 5. Jake, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. Top 5 baseball movies in order here.
We'll start at 5. We'll go down from there.
I got to go Major Leagues. That to me, that's a movie I could watch 100 times. Maybe I have, and still laugh at the same exact scenes, the same exact things. It's not like one of those ones you watch a few times and you pick up a couple extra little Easter eggs, like, oh, I didn't notice that the first time, maybe once or twice, but just a solid, hilarious. I love that movie. Number 2, Bull Durham for me. It's got a feel to it. I'm a huge fan. I know a lot of people are, but that's just a good one. Summer Catch. That one makes me feel like it is 2007. Dating myself, that's fine. And I'm in Idaho playing some summer ball with the boys. I don't know that there's a more accurate summer ball movie that is just fun, and you get every personality on that team in that movie. I love it. Moneyball. A lot of people have a issue with this movie. A lot of people love it. It's a very split 50-50 movie, but much like Friday Night Lights, my favorite football movie and series, show, whatever, I love the feel of Moneyball. I think it's the friggin' best. It makes me feel good. I could watch a million times over Brad Pitt down in the weight room while that ball's getting hit, and the sound, and he looks at the TV and he just kind of is never happy. There's so many things to that that I'm a fan of. And then I got to put the Sandlot in there, not as I have to put them in. I love it. I think it's in there for, I think, a different reason than the rest of them. This one's relatable to probably a lot of kids, but this is like a childhood staple. I think anybody who doesn't have this in their top 5, Scott, I think is an idiot.
I have no comment on that. We're going to find out what my list is.
We'll figure it out. I haven't seen your list yet. We'll see. Honorable mention, and this should be in my top 5, but because of we're talking best movies, baseball movies, I think quality matters. What it is matters. Everybody on the planet should watch Everybody Wants Some. If they ever played baseball, go watch Everybody Wants Some. Some C budget movie, but it's the best. We talked about this yesterday. If you play junior college baseball, if you're a JUCO bandit, if you're a Eric Sim lover of the JUCO grinders, this is it. Go watch Everybody Wants Some. It sums up junior college baseball better than any movie. If you haven't been one of those guys and you want to know what it was like, watch that movie. Promise
Well, that's
you.
the thing, though, is that I feel like people are going to look at some big picture stuff. It's also about vibes. Like, if you just vibe with a movie, there's nothing wrong with putting it in your top 5 because you connect with it personally. As you mentioned for Summer Catch, you said to date it yourself. I can date you, too. I was 10 years old in 2007. So does that make you feel better or worse?
That makes me feel, I don't know, actually. I don't know how that makes me feel. I'm hanging out, talking on the show with you, and here we are. I think certain things like this put everybody in the same age group. You and I are a couple dudes talking. That's how I'm coping with my age this morning. Thanks.
Yeah, well, while you cope, I'll give out my top 5 for the list. So I'll start off at 1 for this one. So for my list in order, number 1, I do have Field of Dreams. I did put that at number 1. At the end of the day, I understand that part of it is not necessarily focusing on baseball games. It's mainly just based on the importance of baseball and family and how it's America's pastime, basically. It's a great movie. It's an all-timer. I kind of have to put it on there. I understand if people wanted more baseball scenes, but in general, I love the movie. James Earl Jones, Kevin Costner. It's well acted. Shoeless Joe Jackson, Ray Liotta. I thought overall it was very, very well made, and I love the movie. I put that at 1. 2, I got Major League. This would be the only other option for 1. I think that those are the two best baseball movies, in my opinion, by far. I think those are definitely in a class of their own, but I got Field of Dreams above them. Major League, I got a 2. Sequels weren't as good, but the first one, of course, is almost a flawless movie for baseball, so I'll put that at 2. 3, Rosenbaga. I got a Rookie of the Year at number 3. Love that movie. I think that it's everything that you want as a kid in a baseball movie. You have the random kid who has the freak injury, which results in him joining the Cubs and eventually winning a World Series and all, but it's just a very good kids baseball movie. It's my favorite kids baseball movie. I put it on there at 3. I think the comedy holds up. I think overall it's a pretty funny movie, and if you watch it now, it still actually ages pretty well. But I love the movie Rookie of the Year. I got that at 3. So I have Moneyball also at 4. People have issues with them not mentioning Tejada or Zito or Mulder. I get it. But for the sake of the narrative, you're dumpster diving for players. It's still a very well-made movie. I thought Jonah Hill and Brad Pitt did a great job with their characters as well. There really weren't any unlikable characters in the entire movie, which I also like. It felt very easily digestible. The entire sequence on the streak is one of the best baseball sequences of any movie, and I feel like that alone carries it. So I like Moneyball at 4. And 5, I got The Natural. Some people think it's boring. I think it's also just a great America's pastime movie. I think Hobbs is a great main character. I think he's very – if you're going to be forcing me to sit through a movie that's 2+ hours, I need to actually like the main character. And I'll get into that in a second because we're about to beef about the Sandlot. But I think Hobbs is a great overall character, and I'm a big fan of watching Redford on screen because at no point does he piss me off, which I think is very important if you're going to be watching a movie, to not hate the main character. That's going to bring us to the Sandlot, which I did not have in my top 5. I believe you said, I have to pull up my notes here. Anybody who doesn't have the Sandlot on their top 5 is an idiot, so I'm going to make my case on why I think you're incorrect. I understand the Sandlot holds a special place for a lot of people because it reminds them of kind of just their childhood, just playing pickup baseball games in a random field, and it also picks up the vibes of summer. Not just baseball, but summer vibes very well. The reason why I don't have it in my top 5, and it's going to be a hot take here, I think Smalls is an abysmal main character, and I can't stand him for the entire movie. I think he stinks. Now, you can argue this. I think that he's the worst member of the entire crew, not baseball-wise, because we already know that's true. I mean in terms of overall character. I get that he's shy. He's in a new place. He has a stepdad. He's got some weird social life going on. But just the overall thought process for a lot of his decisions, all of the main issues are his own fault. He's like, oh, we ran out of baseballs. Wait a second. My stepfather has a random baseball locked in a drawer, and it has writing on it. Let me just bring this to the field. I understand they're little kids. Nobody's this dumb in a movie to bring an autographed baseball. You tell me you know what an autograph is?
You need it for the plot. It's the same reason why when somebody in a movie is running away from a car chasing them, they run in a straight line. Some shit needs to happen during the movie to just make it what it is. You got a little kid. He didn't know better. You might have done that.
I think that's my problem. Is Smalls seems like a smart guy.
You strike me as the kind of kid when you were 10, when I was talking about summer catch, that probably would have seen a sign ball and brought it, and just maybe that's why it pisses you off so bad, because you would have done that.
I would not have done that at all. If my dad had an autographed Babe Ruth baseball and I stole it and lost the ball, he might have killed me on the spot. Like, that just wouldn't have been even an option for me. I understand that he wants to fit in with the cool kids, and maybe that's why he made some questionable decisions. And I get that it's plot driven, but the idea of stealing a Babe Ruth autographed baseball, you have to be the biggest idiot I've ever seen. And I'm watching this kid struggle, going, you don't understand, it's not my ball. I'm like, then why did you take the ball? Even if it's not autographed, you stole your stepdad's baseball. And then we're like, I can't believe that happened. You're just an idiot. And then on top of that, I like the sequence of them trying to get the ball back. Of course, Benny outrunning the dog. Hercules is a great story. And then James Earl Jones opens the door and said he could have just knocked on the door. And I'm like, that kind of just defeats part of the fun of Benny like actually running around and getting it. It's not a bad movie. Like, I'm not saying it's a bad movie, but I do think the main character puts it out of my top 5. I'll just ask you, do you like Smalls as a movie character, or do you just like the overall vibes of baseball in the summer?
I'm going to be real honest with you. I hated Smalls too, but not enough to make me.
He's a main character.
Not enough to make me even think about disliking the movie. I would look at him, I'm like, come on, man. I was the same way the rest of the kids were. Come on, Smalls. Like,
yeah.
All
you don't
movie,
know what a s'mores is? Like, what are we talking about?
I tell you what, I just don't break down movies like that. Maybe I'm a simple guy that watches it and goes, yeah. You know what one of my favorite movies was when I was a kid was Mars Attacks. You know why? Because my buddies and I thought
Mars.
What was that?
Because they attack Mars?
No, Mars attacks us.
No,
aliens. That was one of my favorite movies because my friends thought it was so stupid that I'm like, I liked it. So now it's like me in this movie now. My friends hate it, so I'm gonna make sure I love it. We have 2 comments today. Well, we got our boy Valor in here. He's good. Oh, I'm Jake. I don't make my bed. Steve, we got Steve Porter over here talking about me making my bed in the hotel room. We're here to make some bets, not beds. I'll tell you that right now, Steve.
Besides bets, I think talking baseball movies is more important than making a bet.
So do I. And real quick, are you a make your bed every morning kind of guy?
It doesn't take long to make my bed, but not every morning. I do it usually like after I do some shows.
Okay.
I maximize my sleep, so I wake up like maybe 15 minutes before a show, and then I'm just ready to roll. So I do that usually after.
I feel like you don't ever make your bed.
No comment on that
one.
But right. The Sandlot, at the end of the day, look, I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I just think if your main character is the worst character in the entire movie, it's going to lose some points for me. Same thing with Bull Durham. I like the movie. If there was a less Susan Sarandon, I think it would easily be my top 3. But like, there's so much focus on, to be honest, the town slut. It's a lot. It's a lot going on Susan Sarandon. I feel like Cosner's great. I get it. Sorry, Mike. Just let me finish this last point.
Okay.
Once Lelouch gets promoted to the majors, the movie kind of doesn't know how to end. And the last 20 minutes are just Cosner eating cereal and having sex with Susan Sarandon. Like, the last 20 minutes really aren't great in that movie. But I'm not a fan of her character at all. There was a lot of focus on her love life. You're just sleeping with minor league baseball players. Like, I don't give a damn about your personal life. Like, just play some baseball.
I have to jump in because I will not take any Susan Sarandon dissing.
It already happened. So
who is still very beautiful at her ripe old age of 70, whatever.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying, but
you mean in the movie when she was 70, right?
When she was 70 in the movie, she doesn't age, that woman. She's fantastic.
I was joking. Yeah.
So real quickly, Smalls. I always felt like Smalls as a kid. I was more my personality, but I get it. He was kind of annoying. We're followed on Baseball Dugout by Squints. So our partner channel, our co-channel Baseball Dugout, Squints follows us. So Squints, if you're watching, join us.
For the record, Squint's easily the best character in the movie. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah, and they have
nothing I said is against Squints. It's all against Smalls. To be clear,
and they're doing
every other character is great in the movie. Every other character.
They're doing a new show together. Those guys, where they're coaching Little League. So It's got youth baseball. cast. It's not a Sandlot sequel. It's just the same cast. And then Topanga is in it. So that's an added bonus if you were a Topanga fan back in the day. Mine are Little Big League 61, Sandlot Rookie of the Year, and Pride of the Yankees, which they are remaking with I forget the actor.
When was that the original? That was 1930s. That was like late 1930s.
Yeah, about Gary Cooper, about Lou Gehrig. Yeah. So those are all great. But they're coming out with a Yankees TV series produced by Jason Bateman. So stay tuned for that, kids. You're gonna enjoy it, I hope.
I wouldn't have guessed Jason Bateman. I would have just guessed like 90% Billy Crystal. But okay, I would not have expected Bateman to be the one running that. But,
Jason Bateman producing it.
Yeah, Little Big League was on my honorable mentions. The baseball scenes in that movie are great. That's a very well-made movie for baseball. But I know we got some games to get into, but I had to get that off my chest. I'm anti-Smalls and I'm anti-Susan Sarandon in that movie. There's way too much screen time on Susan Sarandon. You want to counter on that quickly?
Yeah, I mean, I love Mike hopping in here to defend Susan Sarandon. If this was a Instagram post, there'd be 1,000 people telling you she's not going to bang you, bro. But this is not an Instagram post. I appreciate that. Also, you got the Yankee hat on every single day, Mike. It's
a different Yankee hat every time.
I know it's a different hat every day, but go take some lessons from Joe Boo and figure out how to go put some spells on the Yankees to get the bats working. We're going to talk about them in a little bit. We're also going to talk about Valor taking the Brewers money line before I passed out last night was beautiful. I'm sure it was. The sad part is you passed out before you probably got to watch Diaz blow it, and we're going to get to him towards the end of these bets here. But let's do it. Let's talk some bets.
Yep, let's do it. But that was a fun discussion. Let us know, by the way, in the comments section, or if this ends up getting clipped, which one of us had the better list. I think it's mine.
Valor Player Network also said, I can't be the only one that has never watched any of these movies. Come on.
I got good news for you, Valor. It's the weekend. You got a homework assignment.
Yeah, there you go.
So keep that in mind. But either way, we'll move on into the actual games here for Friday. Moving on to the first game, we have the Padres taking on the Guardians. You have King taking on Williams. Solid pitching matchup for this one. For the stats, King 3.37 ERA, Williams 3.55 ERA. For the pricing, Cleveland around -128. For San Diego, basically around like +110, +115, give or take. For the over-under, I see 7.5. For the recent form, San Diego has been absolutely rolling lately. They are 15-4 in their last 19 games. Just swept the Dodgers. Just swept the Brewers. They're in great form. Guardians, not so much, 2-7 in the last 9. King's been good lately. Last 7 starts, 2.93 ERA. Williams, the last 4 starts, 1.42 ERA. Should be a pitcher's duel. What are your thoughts on this game, Jake?
I like. I don't really want to touch this game because I have a hard time betting hot teams, only because you just never know. And I'm a big Williams fan here. I've been a fan of him all season long. I'm just going to go straight to the over 7.5 Ks for him at +122. I like that. If you look at his Ks from July 9th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 starts, it's 11, 11, 11, 12, 10, and 7 on August 8th. So this dude collects Ks. I always love to see, I look a lot of times at the innings and the Ks, 144.2 innings, 185 Ks. He's a strikeout machine when he's on. I think he's been very good lately. Again, I don't know. I like Michael King too. I don't know who I would take in this game. I would, if I had to decide, I'd go with the hot hand in the Padres, but I'm going to give Gavin Williams at +122. I think that's a real good line for 7.5.
Yeah, I think for the price on the side, it would be Padres or pass just because they're getting plus money and they've been the hottest team in the league for the last couple of weeks. So I think Cleveland laying this big of a number does feel a little bit rich, but I'm going to go for the first 5 under instead in this game. I'm going to go for the under 4 at -115. You like Williams, so do I. King's been good lately. Last 7 starts, ERA below 3. We know in general, Cleveland's offense, not great. Williams, though, has been amazing recently. San Diego was able to sweep the Brewers, but we saw them win a rock fight in extra innings in the final game. We know Cleveland in general tends to be more of a pitcher-friendly environment. I see a low-scoring start. If you want to go for the full game under 7.5, I didn't mind it. Both bullpens are pretty good, but I decided to just back the starters instead because if one team ends up scoring, like, for example, 3, you still might win because I can see either King or Williams giving up nothing in the first 5. So I'm going to go for the first 5 under 4 at -115 as my thoughts for this one. Anything else you want to add for this game, or should we just move on to the next game?
We might have to. We got like another co-host in here. Williams 29 Ks last 3 starts. That's including 7 in his last start. So what's the math on that? 22, 11, and 11 for the 2 previous, or 10 and 12 either way. Yeah, I like him a lot in this one. I would not be surprised to see him get 10. I think plus 122 at 7.5 Ks is a generous number, and I also think the under on the first 5 is not bad. If you've been watching the Padres lately, they're similar to the, I'm going to say Dodgers, because there's a lot of late. I mean, if you could skip the first probably 5 innings of most of their games, and
it's 2-1 in almost every game they play in like the 7th.
You could tune into the 7th on and probably see the bulk of where the game happened. So I like the under on the first 5 innings there.
Yep. Moving on to the next game on the card, we have the Diamondbacks taking on the Braves. For this one, Braves are laying about 193. The Diamondbacks are around plus 182. Over-under is at 7.5. For the actual pitching matchup, we have another good one. We have Sale going for the Braves, who's been incredible, 2.2 ERA. Fod, though, has been amazing since coming back off the IL. And to read off the numbers there, by the way, Fod in his last 7 starts, 42 in the 3rd innings, a 1.28 ERA. He has been amazing. Atlanta's been hot. They are 11-3 in the last 14. Arizona's been very up and down. You lost a home series to the Rockies? Really? But either way, they're 5-6 in their last 11. They've been alternating wins and losses for the last 2 weeks, basically. So for this game, Jake, another good pitching matchup. What do you like for this one?
I tell you what, and looking at the 4 bets I feel good about today, this is like a plus money Friday for me, because I am on the underdogs, or at least the plus money bets. For no real reason, I do like what Fott's been doing. I'm taking the Diamondbacks money line at plus 190 today. I think, number one, this is a great number. They're a good baseball team that is not playing phenomenal, but you give me plus 190 on the Diamondbacks, I'm going to take them. I don't care if it's Chris Sale. Every dog has his bad day. I think today's a day where, when I say bad for a guy like Chris Sale,
that's like 2 runs in 6 innings. But that's
I think he might give up 2 or 3 in 6. He might have 1 inning that he just says, "What the hell?" And I think the Diamondbacks. I'm going to take the Diamondbacks in this one.
Yeah, so I think the main reason why you like it is because of the price. I mean, 190 is a very disrespectful line for a pitcher who's been rolling for the last couple of months. And if you end up seeing a low-scoring game where Arizona can sneak it out, 190 suggests that Atlanta should smack this team. And I'm not sure I see that either. So I think for the side, it would be Arizona or pass. However, I'm going to rinse and repeat my play from the first game. I'm going to go for the first 5 under again. This one's at 4.5, though, at minus 120, which I like a lot. I think Sale, as you said, a bad start for him is just like 2 earned runs. That's fine. Fodd's giving up no runs to anybody, basically. Arizona's offense wasn't exactly that great against Colorado. They left a lot of guys on base. I think that maybe that happens again, but similar story to what I had for the first game, where I can see one of these pitchers potentially giving up 0, and at that point, you have a lot of room to work with. The reason why I didn't go for the full game, and I'm sure you can agree with this, even though you have Arizona money line, this bullpen gives me PTSD for the last 4 years of them just punting games over the last 2 innings, and I don't want to bother. So instead of worrying about the Arizona bullpen, I'll only worry about Fod, and I'll only worry about Sale. Give me a low-scoring first 5, and if Arizona's bullpen blows the game, once we end up seeing the starters leave, I think once again it's a pretty good spot for the under. So I'm going to go with the first 5 under 4.5 at minus 120.
That's fair.
I can't stand this bullpen. At least Sewell's not there anymore. He especially blew so many games for this team a couple years ago. But either way, we both think it's going to be a fun game. Moving on to the next matchup, we have the Yankees taking on the Blue Jays. Blue Jays won a series against Boston. Couldn't get the sweep yesterday, but still 3-4 is not too shabby. For the Yankees, they scored 10 runs and then 0 in the game after. So there you go. You had the under in the game, so that was a nap for you. You got to just chill. Yeah, they can't score a point. That's the problem. Score less points, score more runs. Maybe you'll win some games. But anyway, point is for this one, you have the Yankees who are favored -142. Blue Jays are +135. For the over-under, I see 7.5. For the pitching matchup, you have Garrett Cole, who's been so far good this season, a 3.35 ERA after being injured for most of the season. Bieber also came back mid-season, mainly not good, ERA in the mid-5s. However, he has been a lot better at home. At home this season, 22 innings, a 2.86 ERA. Cole last 3 starts, 18 and 2/3 innings, 3 total runs allowed. The Yankees also have scored less than 5 runs in 10 of their last 13 games, including yesterday. So, Jake, I'm going to let you go first here. What's your thoughts on this game in Toronto?
Bring that back, Mike. Bring that graphic back, please. For many reasons, I hate both these teams, but for anybody watching right here that likes to get some extra information, this is a steady picks chart. Should go check them out. This is not an ad for them. Just very detailed. And there's so many things that are so expensive these days in the gambling world or the betting world. This is an incredibly cheap product that will give you way more value than you are paying for. I'm not touching either of these teams for several reasons. I hate them both. I love both their players. I hate both of these teams. I hate the fact that the Blue Jays, I went on and on about them last year. If there was one team last year that was going to beat the Dodgers, I would have said, I'm fine with the Blue Jays. They earned it. I love this team. And then watching them this year, I can't stand watching them play baseball. I just hate a turnaround like that. I've hated the way the Yankees have played for the past 10 years. Bomb or bust. We all know that. I'm not touching it. I'm just going straight Garrett Cole over on the innings or the outs. 18.5 is what they have him at here. I think he's going to go into the 7th. He'll record at least 1. I think he's going to have a good day today. I'm going to give him a full 7 innings. And again, plus 190 for Cole to get into the 7th. I like this. I like this a lot, and I feel better about this than I do betting on either of these two stupid teams.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with the full game under, actually. Just a day of unders for me on Friday. But I think 8.5 is too high, especially at -105. We said before the Yankees can't really hit. Mike, can you just put up that Steady Picks graphic one more time just so I could read off some stats there? Because Yankees bullpen, second best in the league. Toronto's is 8th, so even if Bieber doesn't go much distance, I don't mind this bullpen. WRC plus against lefties for the Yankees, pretty good, 8th. Problem is Bieber's a righty. The last 30 games, WRC plus against righties, Yankees are 29th in the league. Not been going well offensively against righties lately. Toronto also tough place to play in general. The Yankees offense, though, has mainly not been good. We all know this. Cole, though, has been great. Bieber at home has been quite good, but his distance hasn't really been there. But I don't mind Toronto's bullpen kind of picking up the slack if Bieber struggles and gives up a couple through 5. 4 straight Yankee road games, though, have had less than 8 runs, and 8 of Toronto's last 9 home games have had less than 9 runs. So I see a close game. I think Toronto might end up winning it, but I think Cole can go well. I think the Yankees bats stay cold in Toronto. I like the under. I think 8.5 at -105 is a good price. Give me the under 8.5 at -105. Is there a reason, Jake, why you didn't take the under? Because you've been very into these unders, rightfully so, because the Yankees just can't hit. I'm surprised you didn't go for the under.
I know, because I think if I did it yesterday, it was a 1-0 sleeper, like you said. I don't like betting particularly on teams that I don't like, because I just get that feeling that they're going to screw me. I feel like if
that's why the under, you can hate on both teams equally.
Yeah, but then I feel like if I took the under 2 days in a row on the Yankees, then they're going to put up. They'll hit the over themselves. because
I mean,
I'm one of those guys that likes to take it personal, like the Yankees knew I bet on this. That's why they're hitting today.
It's a superstition thing for you. You don't want to double down on it.
I don't stick with anything for too long in the betting space.
Yeah, Mike, you want to pop? Mike, you want to pop in and tell us why the Yankees scored 15 runs tonight? You want to give it a take here?
Oh, this is the same guy that texted us in the middle of their 11-run game and said, Trent Grisham breakout game. Here we go. Yeah. Fucking, this guy won't have a breakout game for the rest of his career, Mike.
Probably. Yeah, he got all his juice out that night. I really don't know what to expect from this game tonight. You get two sides of the coin with the Yankees. One night they're back, they're hitting, they look great, and then they're back to their old ways. So we need Heliot Ramos to start hitting. So far, he's been a bit of a bust. I mean,
it's not their old ways anymore. It's their ways.
Their ways.
They are.
Yeah.
This is who they've been. This is who the Yankees are. They're a team that can't figure it out. You got Boone on the morning show with the John Boy guys today talking about Grisham in center field. He's the slowest center fielder in the league by statistically speaking. And Boone loves him out there. Boone defends. Oh, no, I think he's doing great. I think you watch one play here and there. It's like, well, this is the big leagues. One play is all it takes to screw something up. I don't know. I'm telling you, the Yankees, if they stay with you guys are both Yankee guys. I know that. It's Friday. I told you I'm in a hotel. I watched Diaz blow a game last night. I'm holding my own mic.
Oh, we're getting to that. You can save that for like 2 minutes from now. We're going to get into that.
So now, to me, you bring up the Yankees on a day like this, these guys just piss me off. I want to see them play better baseball with the talent they have.
Yeah, but either way, I like the under. I think that, as Mike said, it could be a coin flip game for me. So instead, give me a close 4-3 type final that comes down to the wire. But
the only thing we look for as Yankee fans right now, and you could probably back me up, Scott. The last thing I'll say is Lombard. He's all the excitement, everything we were hoping he would be, and it's what is he going to do? And we'll love to see how he plays when the other guys come back, Judge, Stanton, Bellinger. So that's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, day to day, you don't know if this team's going to win. They look the best team in the world or the worst team in the world. So that's
you're saying you're looking forward to Lombard. That's definitely true. But in general, all Yankees fans want is consistency.
Yes.
Can we just score 4 runs per game for a week straight? I'm not asking a lot. Like 4. As you put up on the graphic earlier, second best bullpen in the league. The pitching's been fine. Just score even the minimal amount to win games.
We need
nothing at home.
We need Costanza to start delivering.
Right field if you can't even hit the ball 10 feet. Like, what's the point?
Ask Jazz. It's not that easy. It's a myth. That's a myth that it's easy to hit a ball out in right field at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, I watched Curtis Granderson at 40 home runs in a season. I think Jazz can handle 40.
I'll say this. I think Lombard, I've watched a lot of baseball. I've coached, not obviously in the big leagues. I've seen enough. I've had to watch enough prospects and players and whatever. Lombard is, outside of maybe Bobby Witt, because he's proven it for so long. It feels like a long time. He's only been in the league short time. But Lombard, to me right now, defensively, again, outside of Bobby Witt, is probably the best defender at shortstop in the league. You can see it. He's smooth. He's clean.
Quick.
An infield coordinator for the Angels told me, you want your infielders to be vanilla ice cream. You know what you're getting every time a ball is hit to them, and every now and then they put some sprinkles on top of it. You don't want the guys. Tatis is in right field for a reason. He's going to wow you probably once a game, but once every 2 games, he's going to throw a routine ball into the net behind first base. So I think Lombard is exceptional defensively, just in the short time I've seen him.
Yeah, definitely is. Definitely been a breath of fresh air for the Yankees, who have never really cared much about defense. So it's nice to see a guy who actually can play a premier position in an elite way.
Yep.
Scott, we need Costanza to start delivering calzones to Steinbrenner again.
I think the issue we have right now with the Yankees right now is cotton jerseys. I think we need more cotton. It's more free-flowing over there. But anyway, moving on to the next game. We have the final game on the card. We have the Brewers taking on the Dodgers. Dodgers are laying 176. Brewers are plus 165. Over-under is at 7.5. Pitching matchup, we have Yamamoto taking on Gasser. Yamamoto recently has been really good. No surprise there. World Series MVP for a reason. Last 4 starts, 28 2/3 innings, a 1.88 ERA. Gasser's been okay lately. Last 4 starts, 20 2/3 innings, a 3.05 ERA. But we're here to start off the actual conversation about what happened last night. I see Valor mentioning in the comments section, and I agree with him. Edeluz Diaz came into the game. Shout out to Dave Roberts, who only used Scott for 1 batter, even though he's been their best reliever for the last month or so. And then they tried to bring in Vesia, gave up the single to Bowers at the end to lose the game. But I can't really blame him there. I mean, Diaz gave up 4 straight hits with 1 out in the 9th inning. That can't happen. And the Dodgers went from up to, shout out to Muncy, by the way, who became the all-time Dodger leader for home runs in Dodger Stadium. Congratulations to him. Unfortunately, it was wasted because Diaz came in. I think his ERA now is 13 this season. He's been a mess. You're the Dodger fan. You got the hat on, so I'm going to let you go.
This is good for a lot of fans that hate what the Dodgers are doing. Obviously, if you're gonna be pissed that they buy this many people with this much money, you should also be happy that they bought these two guys in a Kyle Tucker and a Diaz for as much money as they did. Neither of these guys are even league average. Kyle Tucker, the thing in baseball is there's a potential. When you're an offensive guy, there's always the potential Kyle Tucker is going to leave the yard or help you somehow. Diaz, I'm looking at him now. I don't follow the Mets, so I knew he had his moment for a year, maybe two, but this feels like it's got to be more who he is than the 2-year streak he had where he was probably the best closer in baseball. Because this dude, I mean, just sucks. To put it nicely. He sucks.
I was going to say honestly, either one
yeah,
works. I mean, Dodger fans want him DFA. That's how bad he's been.
They want him gone. Here's what I think, and Dave putting him in the Scott thing. Obviously, you're trying to win this game. Scott probably leave him in, let him do his job. He's been much better lately. I think this all goes back to the fact that this team is trying to win a World Series. That's their only goal. They're one of few teams with World Series or bust expectations. There's probably 4 teams in the league with those expectations: Yankees, Red Sox, Dodgers. We got another team in there maybe. But I think Dave puts a guy like him in because he knows he's going to need him. This is a closer that we paying 20-something million a year for a reason, because he has the stuff. And do I want to lose this game? Absolutely not. Am I irritated? Absolutely. But I think you're going to continue to see Diaz get opportunities in the near future, because if he's right and if he is who he needs to be in the playoffs, good luck dealing with this starting pitching staff and then seeing a Diaz who's dialed in. Good luck.
Yeah, I feel like I've experienced this as a Yankees fan recently, because this is reminding me of Devin Williams last year. You just have a closer who's been really good for the last couple of seasons. Then for whatever reason, it feels like he's completely falling apart at the seams. And yet either Boone or Roberts keeps giving them chances. I think you're right. At the end of the day, it's a regular season game. Dodgers will win the division. We're going to get in anyway. And if you want to do whatever you can to give Diaz reps, or maybe he works it out, it's going to help you out a lot in the playoffs. The problem you run into, though, is that I don't know if you can treat this as a regular season game by default, because you're competing with Milwaukee for home field advantage in the National League, and you're separated by about 1 game. So I understand that Scott ended up getting Yelich out in the 8th inning. Bit of a scary fly ball there, but still an outs and out. I thought they were going to go to Vesia, and I thought that Scott would do the 9th inning, because you kind of need to win this series in a way, because I'm not saying they can't go into Milwaukee and win a series 4 out of 7, but still, you want to be at home for your entire National League playoff run, maybe even the World Series playoff run, who knows. But I just feel like these type of games, Roberts treated it like it was a regular season game in August, and you kind of wish he treated it a little bit more like a playoff game, a little bit at least for the opponent and in the spot. But I think you're right. It's a regular season game. In theory, if Diaz figures it out in September, suddenly everything's fine. But I do wish in this matchup he read the room a little bit more and let Scott face more than one batter.
Is that the baseball guy in you, or is that you had the Dodgers money line guy in you?
No, I think it's more of a baseball guy. Like, if I lose a bet, I'm going to be annoyed by it. But I think you'd agree with me, if you're looking at the grand scheme of things, you really can't afford to hand over any games in a series where you're basically fighting for home field advantage. You agree with that?
I do agree. And I also look at it. I agree with you. I will say that the devil's advocate to that is, if you are planning on having Diaz pitch in the playoffs, it's going to be a closer and high leverage. Every inning he has will be high leverage. This is a high leverage moment. This is a big series for them. Like you just said, it's important. So if you're going to want him to be tested by fire and the fire he's about to walk into, what better time than a big series towards the end of the year, win a 2-run game? Hey, this is actually a perfect situation. It's a close opportunity. We're 2 runs up. We're not 1 run. I think you can go in there and finish the game. But this is where you test them out. I don't love it either. I'm with you, but I
Yeah.
just think, and I don't even know, but I think that's what the Dodgers are doing.
I get the vision. It was trial by fire, but they let him
Yeah.
face maybe one or two batters too long, in my opinion. I thought they should have pulled him earlier. But anyway, moving on to this game, though, I already read off the odds and everything. Do you think the Dodgers get revenge, or do you think Milwaukee maybe got themselves going with that ninth inning comeback?
I'm taking the Dodgers. I told you this is plus money Friday for me. I'm taking a -1.5. Valor Sports here. I like this because he's talking about the bullpen, basically how they are with starters and how they are in the pen. I'm taking Dodgers -1.5 at plus 120. They were a little too much on the money line for me to take today. I just like, if it wasn't Yamamoto, I wouldn't do this. I think Yamamoto is a guy that sees the situation. I wouldn't be surprised if you don't even see the bullpen today. He went CG against the Yankees a couple weeks ago. I really wouldn't be surprised if he just locks in and absolutely dominates them. And I don't have a ton of faith in the Dodgers offense putting up a bunch of runs, but I'm taking -1.5 solely based off Yamamoto today.
Yeah, for me, I agree with you in general. I think the Dodgers bounce back, but instead I'm going to fade Gasser, starting pitcher here for Milwaukee. Give me the under 15.5 outs at even money. Gasser's had less than 16 outs in 4 of his last 5. So he threw 94 pitches in his last start. The first time he's thrown 87 plus pitches since July 7th. They didn't use much of the bullpen yesterday. They used Santatello for whatever reason, and then they ended up kind of keeping all the main relievers there. McGill got the save and all, but they kept the bullpen mainly fresh for this game. You have Mizorowski going tomorrow, so you're going to let him eat. And I think that kind of results in Gasser probably going 5 tops, and you end up getting a lot of bullpen usage, and you let Miz try to carry you tomorrow. But Gasser in general does burn a lot of pitches. He really nickel and dimes. He is a little bit loose with the pitch count, and the Dodgers maybe get to him a lot, and they end up burying him. But Gasser in general, I see a pretty standard 5 innings for this outing. 5 innings, probably around 80-something pitches. But first time he's thrown 87-plus pitches since July 7th. I think you intentionally kept most of the bullpen fresh, knowing that Gasser's going to have a little bit of a tighter leash than other starting pitchers in this game. It might be a sweat. He might get pulled at 80 pitches. But I see a good spot, not to mention the Dodgers maybe getting to him and scoring 5 runs. That's possible too. So I'm going to go for Gasser under 15.5 outs at plus 100 as my play.
I like that. I think first 5 is going to be important. Yamamoto is always good. First 5 for the Dodgers. He's going to be out there doing his thing. And I just think that Dodgers offense is going to start picking it up, putting a little pressure on themselves. They're veterans. Pressure in a good way, saying, hey, we need to start swinging the bat. Even last night, 4 runs. It's not enough. It's just not. It wasn't enough. You got to swing the bat, and that was the whole thing. They got good pitching, but on top of their elite pitching last year, you had to swing the bat to beat them. So you had to beat their good pitchers because their offense was putting up 6 or 7 a game. Dodgers need to get back to the offensive side of the baseball because they should be where they need to be, 5-6 runs a game versus 2-3, hoping for a big swing late. It has not worked for them lately.
Yep, I think they get to Gasser personally. So that's kind of why I'm going with that player prop instead. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for baseball. But before we officially end the show, bit of a new segment here, Friday Fights. We do have a big fight card coming up on Saturday in the UFC. I know both of us do follow the UFC. Quick thoughts on Gary Makhachev? Any thoughts on who's going to win? Makhachev for the odds, by the way, is decent favorite, like minus 355. Gary's around plus 270. You picking an upset and new, or are you just picking Dagestan to reign supreme again?
I'm picking Dagestan to reign supreme again, but if I wanted to put a little flyer on Gary, throw some money out there, I wouldn't hate it. I think the size, the reach difference, and being a striker, you always got a shot somewhere in there. I don't think it's going to be a full-on wrestler destroys striker. I'm interested though. I think it's a very intriguing fight. But yeah, it's very difficult to bet against these dudes.
Yeah, for me, I think the UFC casuals are going to hate it because it's not going to be, in my opinion, a stoppage. It's going to be a lot of technical, I'd say groundwork, etc., transitions. I think it's going to be a very high-level fight. So I'm going to enjoy it. I got Makhachev, but I'm a method of victory guy. I like to pick exact outcomes because it reduces juice pretty heavily. I don't think Makhachev stops Gary. I think Gary's got good conditioning. He's a good wrestler in general. I think Makhachev will eventually win because he's just stronger than Gary. But I do think he'll end up winning by decision. So I'll go Makhachev by decision plus 120. Not going to overthink it. I think it's going to be a pretty predictable fight. And I just think that there are levels to the grappling. I don't think he ends up submitting him because Gary's never been submitted before. I think we go distance, but I think Makhachev wins. I'll go like 49, 46 scorecards basically. So pretty decisive. But give me a minus 355 favorite at plus 120 to win by decision. That's my thoughts on the fight.
Smart money. Anybody that is that big of a favorite in the UFC, it's like baseball. You're always one pitch away from losing the game. You're always one swing away from catching one in the jaw and getting knocked out cold. You're always one little slip up away from being in a position that loses you a UFC fight. I think that's why these MMA fights are so fun to watch. I trained a long time when I was a kid. I enjoy, similar to you, the art of it. I really enjoy the art of, I guess you would just call it fighting, but yeah, I'm with you on that. If I had to bet this thing, I'm not taking a minus 300 something underdog in the UFC. That's a tough one for me to swallow, knowing that there's a split second away from losing. But I do like the decision at plus money.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you got to get creative sometimes for your bets, and I feel like that's the most likely outcome. So I'm going to go for that at plus money. Anyway, it's going to wrap it up for the show and for the week, the first week of the Breakfast Bets podcast. Back once again on Monday. Till next time, once again, a reminder, vote on whose movie list was better. It's mine. It's fine. Jake can handle a loss. It's all good. Till next time, good luck to all of you.
We're not going to end. We're not going to end on that.
We're not going to end it on that.
We're gonna make sure we at least revisit the fact that you didn't have the Sandlot in your top 5, and anybody that doesn't have that is an idiot. And I did Valor Sports. I'm writing down all your. I'm logging them all here, and I'm going to take notes on how you do today. And I might start taking your advice come Monday morning.
Don't forget, Valor, you have a homework assignment. You got some movies to watch. So keep that in mind over the weekend. Anyway, till next time, good luck to all of you and all of your bets. Bye, everyone.